let me speak about web development tools first of all. It is like a tool that's are built in all modern browsers and which helps us to test our application and add some new features, delete them and test it while developing. So it is different from IDEs such as Sublime Text or Visual Studio Code or so on and so on, because it's often used for testing reasons only. And it's not a kind of like a local code editor. So the most important things that there are, as I mentioned, all modern browsers supports it, and now I will demonstrate it. For example, it's like Chrome DevTools, it is in Opera DevTools, in Mozilla as well, and in Microsoft Edge. So my recommendation will be that use a Chromium-based developer tools. It is on Google Chrome, and it is in the MS Firefox, not in MX Firefox, it's in Edge and in Opera as well. Firefox uses, as I remember, Quantum. So I recommend you to use Google Chrome while you are testing your applications and your project. So after the theory, let me begin a little bit practice. So first of all, let me open these two tools, and it will be opened as several ways. First of all, right-click on a screen and click on Inspect. Also, we can use a hotkey combination like Ctrl-Shift-I, and on macOS it will be Command-Option-I, as I remember well. Or you can also click on F12, and also you can click on three dots here, more tools and developer tools. So I will open it like this, and here we can see a lot of tabs. Think, which is looks like markup, and actually it is not a markup that we wrote. It is markup that browser generated itself. It's called render, and you will dive deep into that while learning DOM JavaScript. So let me speak step by step what this element does. First tab is, as you see, elements, and here is our actual markup. In elements, we can easily modify our markup while in the left side. So let me open some content here. For example, let me open some divs. Okay. And here, as you can see, when I am toggling here, it is visible here. And what is this? Yeah, green and blue and yellow tabs. I will tell you later in this lecture. So open this one, and here you can see H1 tag. Here you can see class name and the text. That's you know it is a markup. So we can edit it, and this is the first and big feature. We can edit this text, for example, like here we can double click on it and write everything we want. So let's write test here. And now we can see immediate result here, but it's only work while refreshing. So while it will be refreshed, this will be gone like this. Okay, so we can also edit class names here, like we can add ones, for example, test class, or we can delete. You can delete some class name. We can see the style will be gone here now. Yep, we'll return it. Yep. And here we have a right click on it, and we have an opportunity to edit it as HTML. When we click on it, it will be the window like this. And now we can edit it also, and we can change the tag name too here. For example, I will change H1 tag on H6, H5 tag, for example, and I will close it on it, and then yeah, it's become small. So I will return it. The next feature is we can hide the element using this elements tab, like click on it by right and click on hide element. So as we can see, the element disappeared, but it's still on this place. And it's a difference between hide element and delete element. So now I'm deleting element by clicking on delete in my keyboard. And the mission now it's fully empty here. There's no elements. Now I will return it. And let me show another one, like what if we are here, but we can see the content on the left side, we can see the content in the browser. So we can use like right click and click on the scroll into view. So now we can see our footer in the left side. So there is a way to copy paste elements like H1, for example. I will copy it by Control-C and paste it with Control-V, and then I will scroll into view again. Appeared. Refresh. Okay. And now we'll copy it and then paste it. And now you can see that they are two. So we can also drag and drop it by using this and paste it somewhere, some place we want, for example, here. And actually, there is one thing also, it's called inspector, and by inspector, I will refresh to discard all the pages, and by inspector, we can toggle everything we want by the page, and it will be visible on the right side. So let's click on, for example, search, and now we can see search here. So that's all, I guess, for elements tab, and now we have styles in the bottom. And here, as you guessed, is our CSS styles for our element. And we can modify our CSS as well, like we can check and uncheck it, some selectors, and it will become invisible, as you can see. Then we can change it by adding some other colors. For example, I will add black on it, and it's changed. We can select a color also by clicking on the square and by dragging this circle. Also, we can select this from the side by clicking on toggle color picker and then clicking on like in every color we want. So like this, and as you can see, their search button becomes this color. Also, we can add some properties. I will do it for clicking there in the empty space, and then we can type here, and let me add some opacity, as I know, and let me become it 0.5. And yeah, it's applied. So we can see that's our new CSS selector, CSS rule applied it, and then we can also add some new CSS selectors by, I will add here a class, for example, test. I will delete the opacity for now, and I will add here by this plus sign new selector and write here test. So here we can write opacity 0.5, and as we can see, there becomes more opacity. So we can now close it. And there button called cls.cls, and they're all available classes for this current element. For example, this class, and then this test that I assigned it now. So let's me uncheck it, and class is gone. Let me uncheck the second one, and they're gone also. So let me return it. And also here are button called hove. It's responsible for like pseudo classes like active, focus within, target, hover, visited, and focus visible. You probably have touched with hover. So let me click on hover, and now we can see that's what is happened with element while it's hovered. So that's the case. You can click on visited also. You can play with these buttons and see what's going on them. And also that's actual styles is. So let me show you about toggle device toolbar. This is the most important toolbar while testing the responsiveness of our website. And let me click on it, and we can see the view of our site. And now while this tab is responsive, we can type for every width and height we want. So like, well, like this, and it becomes visible like this. There is a zoom, like it zooms viewport. It's not as important. So let's me tell you that we can select a special devices such as Moto 4G, Galaxy S5, or Pixel 2, or more phones. Let me select Pixel 2, and now we can change the size. It will pass automatically. And also, if our device is not here, we can click. Sorry, yeah, we can click on Edit. And here are more devices. If our need device is still not here, we can add custom device and type here whatever we want. Also, there are breakpoints, which is useful for while writing responsive code, such as on tablets, on laptop, mobile S, mobile M, and etc. So 4K, of course, it's here. And that's it too. Also, we can test it by rotating the screen, its landscape or its like primary screen. So let me close this tab too, and let's move to console. And console is all about the JavaScript. So we can debug JavaScript here, we can declare JavaScript here, and we can write some JavaScript code here. For example, let me write some example like 4 plus 4, and it will be 8. Let me create some variable, for example, let a equals to 5, and let b equals to 4. And don't be scared about undefined here, because it doesn't return anything. It's except to return something, but it's not a big deal. It's not returning anything because it's a primitive variable. And so let me output a plus b, and it will be as expected 9. So also, there are pretty important and useful features on the console. For example, $sign and 0, it will toggle last element we have selected by inspector, and it is button. $1 will accept the previous one, and $2 will display the previous. So that's all, and now let me dive deep in some console methods. There is not only console.log here, and I will show you all the interesting methods also. So I will open my JavaScript here and console here, and now let's. Oh, sorry. Let's begin displaying it. First of all is console.log. As we already know, it is just logging something in the console. Any data, any information, anything you want. The second one is error. It will display an error message, and whatever you will pass as the argument. So as you can see here, then it's warning message. Warning. Console.warn. Console.info will display some information as you pass as an argument. As you can see in the earlier versions of Chrome, it was like light blue, but now it's just white. So now the interesting thing is that we can group some elements in the one group, and let's group it by calling console.group and end group like console.group end. So let me uncomment it, and the argument will be passed by console.info. So let me uncomment it, and see the result. Animals, and there are animals. Also, there are a command called console.table, which is creates tables, takes an argument array, and it will display it here, as you can see. So the next one is also table, but I decided to demonstrate a multiply rows and columns table by passing the object in the array. So I will uncomment it, and you will see the results. The index is default parameter, which is primary parameter. So, and the last one here is console.clear, which logically assume clears the console fully. Yes. So there are many methods of console which I will provide. So I will provide a link to it and throw it into the Discord chat. So go on to the next tab. Here we can see sources tab, and what's it? I will demonstrate it here. So sources tab, and we can see the folders here, and we can see the files here, which are public for us and which is visible for us. So in the sources, to be short, either all files that are available for us, and they are public. So there are fonts, there are some CSS files, so mostly there are fonts here, as you can see. And source is all about that. So the next important one is network. Well, as you can guess, everything is on the internet is coming from some server, and here we have a data which come from server, and there are list of them. So and here are category which when can be filtered these files. For example, I will ignore fetch XHR for now and provide an example late. For example, JS files here, CSS files, image files, media files. These are empty, and font files are also here, and docs such as index.html and information files are also here. You will discuss about WebSocket and other topics when you will deep dive in JavaScript and when you deep dive in APIs. So I will ignore that for now, and let me show fetch XHR by practical. 1 second, practical example here. Let me uncomment my code. And here I am just getting some data from another server, and I will demonstrate it how it comes for the network. Like when I click on send requests, it will come here, posts. And now here we can see the actual status of this request. It is 200, and 200 is success status. Type, it is fetch. Source here is script.js. We can click and we can see our source actual. And here is size of this request file, and there is time, how long it takes to get this request here. This is it is super useful while working with kind of like APIs to observe your API, observe your server side, what's coming from the server, and demonstrate it. Also, they have a breakpoints, which is easy, which allows us to easy debug these files, these APIs, and while we are using many APIs, it is super useful to debug it. So I will provide how to use it. So let's go to sources, and here we can see XHR fetch breakpoints. Click on it and then click on plus sign. And here we can choose if we want to breakpoint all the fetch we have here or custom. I will firstly breakpoint all one. And when we click just enter, when we will state empty, it will display all any XHR fetch. And now when we like click on send request, it will show us to debug mode, and it will check our fetch data. So we have no errors here, and we can just step over, and as we can see that there's no errors. But if we have some, for example, I will change the link like this, and now I will send it with this mode again, and then I will throw it and stop it, and now we can see that there are error, and it is visible what error happened here. It is error while link, it is not reached, so it is super useful to debug it while using API. So also, as I mentioned, I will return it. Also, as I mentioned, there can be too many APIs, and we need to filter somehow this. I will delete it, and now I will add it. And if we need to filter it, we can pass the relators, which is contained by our URL. For example, my URL, as you can see, contains P and O or something of these letters, and I will sorry. I will provide a PO, and it will be visible if URL contains PO. And again, send request, and yes, it is probably visible for all of you. So that's all for network as well. I will turn off it, and I did not discuss about performance here because it's a big topic, and it will be visible, and you can see it. You can deep dive on it when you will learn advanced topics about JavaScript and advanced topic about DevTools also. So the one thing I would like to discuss with you is application tab, and this in application tab, local storage and session storage. They are browser storages, and what we should know about it is like there are two different kind of storages. The local storage is it saves the data before we didn't delete it. It will be saved here. But session storage is a thing that will be the data will be deleted after the tab will be closed. So the session storage will be available until we are here or until we are in this website. So let me show you how to manipulate with these storages. I will add here some JavaScript code here. So let me comment everything else. And here I will add like local storage that we can set item to set something in our browser's local storage, and we should give it two arguments: key value appear here, and let me take it. For example, key will be name, and value will be mark. And let me save it, and here and now let me browse local storage, and as we can see, there is name mark saved. So we can get it with the help of console. For example, local storage dot get item, and pass the argument we need, in my case, name. Enter, and it will be, of course, mark. And also we can modify this by edit key or edit value here, or I'm deleting it on the JavaScript. In the JavaScript folder, we can adjust local storage dot clear. It will be erased. So the session storage works actually like this. As you can see, it's clear now. Session storage works exactly like this. It is the same syntaxes. It is the same kind of taking arguments and so on. Let's write it: session storage dot set item, and the argument such as the last name, for example. It's doc David, and move to session storage. And yes, we can see the last name key value was created. Ignore it because I run it from the live server with VS Code extension, and it will be ignored by your browser. So we can edit also here, edit key, edit value, or clear or delete, as in the local storage. So the today's last such a trick is to change the environment settings here by clicking on Ctrl+Shift+P. It will bring us a terminal, and we are allowed to see the settings of the DevTools. So let me change, for example, theme of it from light to dark. For that, let's write dark, and there will be a pretty and switch to dark theme, and click on it, and we should reload DevTools. And now, as we can see, they are dark theme. Okay, let me roll back to white and switch to light theme. And reload again, and they are still light. You can play with all of these properties. You can click on it. You can try it on yourself, as well as on these tabs too. You can easily train on it and check it out. So I will provide the links for it. I will give you suggestions how to deep dive in DevTools, and I will provide all the documentations and console methods also. So that's kind of all for today, and I will jump in your questions now. Well, it's like kind of yes, it is used for saving some user information, some saved data on it. It's commonly used local storage for saving something while website is running, and it is super useful. Well, I guess it's my problem, or you can still see my screen, see my video. Well, I don't think so. There can be a browser cache storage which provide us to save the local storage here in the browser, and it will. Yes, it's probably in your browser, in your browser's local storage. Yeah. Guys, any questions about this, about something? No problem.
I guess there are no questions. So we will complete this lecture. It was short but very, very informative and useful, I guess. Thank you, Rati.
Thank you. Have a nice evening. Bye.